In the previous episode, Noah began adjusting to his new life as a noble while uncovering the terrifying power of the Leviathan sword. Now, as he steps further into the world of politics, danger, and opportunity, his influence begins to grow in unexpected ways. The next day, Noah heads to a small local diner located on Raid Street. He's there looking for a street singer he's heard rumors about, someone who often performs at this place. After stepping inside, Noah finds an empty seat and quietly sits down, taking his time to observe the atmosphere of the diner. Not long after, a pink-haired girl walks forward and begins performing in front of the customers. As she sings, Noah recalls hearing about her before and remembers that her name is Alice. He listens carefully to her voice and immediately realizes that while her singing isn't bad, her technique still has plenty of room for improvement. Even so, Noah can tell that she takes singing very seriously. She isn't just performing for fun, she's genuinely trying to improve and survive through her talent. Suddenly, the calm atmosphere inside the diner is completely shattered when three rough-looking men burst through the door. They begin shouting loudly, drawing everyone's attention. The men confront Alice and angrily demand to know why she's wasting time singing instead of finding a better way to repay the debt her parents owe them. Hearing this, Alice shrinks back in fear as the men surround her. With a trembling voice, she explains that she doesn't yet have enough money to repay the debt, but insists that she's doing everything she can since she has no other way to earn money. The men then begin discussing what they call the second best way for a woman to repay a debt. The people inside the diner can only watch in shock and disgust, completely powerless to stop what's happening. Before the situation can escalate any further, Noah stands up from his seat. He walks toward the men and reminds them that, under imperial law, it is strictly forbidden to force a child to take responsibility for their parents' debts. The men scoff at him, brushing him off as nothing more than a spoiled and clueless brat. One of them suddenly grabs Noah by the shirt and prepares to attack him. In response, Noah instantly counters by unleashing the power of his Leviathan sword. The overwhelming force fills the room, shocking everyone present. Terrified by the strength Noah displays, the three men panic and immediately flee the diner before things can get any worse. Once the danger has passed, Noah turns back to Alice and speaks to her gently. He asks her how much money she needs each month to get by. She explains that most of her expenses go toward paying for her mother's medical treatment. After hearing this, Noah tells her that from now on, he will give her 25 rian every month so she can focus entirely on improving her singing. He also promises to increase her pay as her skills improve, encouraging her to continue pursuing her passion without fear. Deeply moved, Alice thanks Noah and tells him how grateful she is for everything he's done. She promises that she won't let him down and that she'll work hard to become a better singer. Later that evening, Noah returns home only to find the same three men kneeling in front of the palace gate. They bow their heads and beg for forgiveness. Noah quickly realizes that they must have finally figured out who he really is. Without meeting them, he calmly instructs the maids to send them away, explaining that the prince is not someone they can see whenever they please. Soon after, Noah's elder brother Henry arrives and agrees with Noah's decision. He explains that allowing people like that to meet royalty so easily would diminish the authority and dignity of the royal family. Noah then tells Henry that his decision wasn't just about preserving royal status. He explains what happened at the diner and adds that if he personally confronted the men, they would continue to fear him. That fear would keep them away from Alice, which is exactly what he wants. Henry is genuinely impressed by Noah's reasoning. Despite his young age, Noah was able to think several steps ahead, something even his other brothers wouldn't have considered. Changing the topic, Henry asks Noah about the Leviathan sword and whether the rumors about him mastering it are true. Noah confirms this and says it was only possible thanks to Henry's earlier advice. To prove it, Noah makes the Leviathan sword appear in front of him as if it emerged from thin air. Henry is completely stunned, having never known the sword was capable of such a technique. Noah explains that the sword didn't actually materialize from nothing. It had been hidden beneath his sleeve and expanded on command, since the sword has a will of its own. It was the Leviathan itself that taught him how to use this ability. Henry praises Noah, admitting he never imagined such a thing was possible. Later, outside the palace, the three men are still lingering nearby. When one of them spots Noah, he attempts to attack, but Noah releases a small amount of the Leviathan's power. The man immediately freezes in terror and apologizes. Noah explains to Henry that he simply intimidated them using the sword's aura. That evening, Noah attends a royal ball. As he enters the hall, the guests begin applauding him. A noble named Radok notices something at Noah's waist, and Noah confirms that he's carrying the Leviathan sword, which was gifted to him by the crown prince. The room gasps in shock, recognizing it as a national treasure said to be nearly impossible to control. Some guests assume the sword must be a fake, so Noah releases a small portion of its power. The overwhelming pressure forces everyone to accept the truth. For the rest of the event, nobles line up one after another just to introduce themselves to Noah. Among them are Brian Allen, the head of the Brian Company, and his daughter Cindy. After observing them closely, Noah deduces that Cindy is adopted and was once a slave. Shocked, Brian confirms this and explains that he adopted her after noticing her intelligence and talent. Noah is genuinely pleased and invites them to visit his mansion someday. The next day, Noah meets his brother Oscar, the 8th prince, who invites him on a treasure hunt to Cobalt Street. The area is known for antiques and counterfeits. After hours of searching, Noah buys a book that catches his attention. Oscar is stunned to realize it's the grimoire of the legendary sorcerer Andrea. Noah admits he bought it only because touching the book increased his stat. When he pours the Leviathan's energy into it, the sorcerer's soul materializes. Instead of fleeing, Noah strikes it down in a single slash, increasing his wind skill to SS rank. A merchant named Alan witnesses this and presents a mysterious ring. When Noah puts it on, it recognizes him as its owner and transforms into top-tier armor. Oscar buys it for Noah as a gift. Later, the ring automatically protects Noah from an ambush. That night, Noah returns to the diner, where trouble breaks out again. He sends the attackers flying and eventually buys the entire diner for 1,000 Ran. He tells Alice that all he wants in return is for her to keep singing and pursue her dream. Noah sits back and quietly listens as Alice's voice fills the diner. That concludes the second episode. I know next few episodes are already up, so they are also coming soon. Please like, share and subscribe if you want to. Try checking out my other videos.